As Heidelberg hammered Capital by a final of 87-66. It was a really good game by Joe Thompson for Capital. He had 22 points in the loss for the Comets, but Purdue was too much. He had 21, 18 points for Dylan Woods, 13 points for Zane Lightwine, and also 12 points for Isaiah Young, who came off the bench and provided some very quality minutes in that game for the Student Princes. And Jonathan, you and I were talking before the broadcast tonight, looking at the Student Princes statistics. When you look at their shooting numbers, nothing really jumps off the page a la Steph Curry or anything like that from three-point range. A lot of shooters shooting around 39%, 35%. But when you take a closer look at the field goal percentage, this team does a good job of getting to the hoop, producing chances at the foul line. Just a very well-oiled offensive bunch when you take a closer look.
Yeah, it's a different type of play style. The coaching likes to use a little more grit and grind. We're going to find a way to get to the hole, pick and roll action. They're going to find a way to try to be aggressive down low, and that's what Comets need to watch out for. So I'm calling out the big guys here. I'm talking about Shrek and I'm talking about Dosick coming off the bench. They have to be aware of the situations. And now the Comets do a good thing about that, trying to get down low as well. But, you know, when this team is going to force it down into the paint, how can you stop that?
This game is going to be very interesting in that there will be a lot of action involving the guards. Tyler Schreck will do most of his damage on the inside, but there have been times where David Sanford has looked good. There have been times where Alex Iank has looked good for Capital. In the meantime, taking on a Heidelberg team that has a lot of standouts at the guard position. We talked about Emmanuel Purdue, a senior who has been at Heidelberg for what seems like forever. Same thing with Dylan Woods, the senior out of Cincinnati, averaging 13.6 points per game. Isaiah Young, another standout guard. And also Zane Lightwine, a sophomore out of Gahanna, Ohio. He's really improved his offensive numbers, 10.5 points per game for the native from Gahanna.
Yeah, for the native for Gahanna, you know, what he's been doing, figuring out, you know, how to create for this team. I really do want to look out now, not coming into the starting lineup, but coming more out of his shell. Number 11, Caleb Crawford. Be on the lookout for him tonight. He's able to create his own shots and find ways to get his team in rhythm. And when he's hot, so is his partner in crime, David Sanford.
Caleb Crawford averaging 7.2 points per game. The sophomore out of Cincinnati has slowly but surely improved as the season has gone on. Meanwhile, Tyler Schreck, he's had himself a good season. The senior from Fort Mitchell, Kentucky, 9.1 points per game, 9.4 rebounds per game, and 3.6 assists per game. We've talked about the guards playing a big role in this game tonight, or at least we think that they're playing a big role in this game tonight. What can a player like Tyler Schreck do for Capital this evening?
Tyler Schreck's going to do what he does best, the leading stat man for OAC and rebounding. He's going to do what he does best and get down, and it's going to get dirty down low in the trenches down there with the box inside the paint. He's going to continue to do what he does, find a way to rebound and get his team second chance opportunities, because that's really what is going to come in the clutch. If the team starts off hot, keep it going, but you got to expect the unexpected, always be ready to get the rebound and try to get your team back in it. So Schreck is going to be a factor down low, not only just on the defensive, on the rebound side, but if they can get him going, and he always finds a way to get some points on them tallies, whether it's going to the free throw line or off the rebound. So hopefully he can keep his mentality down low and keep it going.
Before we go to commercial break, what's the one statistical category that Capital not necessarily has to win, but has to hold a big advantage in order to have a chance here tonight against Heidelberg?
That's a tough question right now. One that they have to have in order to win this game. And I've seen them in close game situations where not necessarily rebounding, turnovers. It's going to come down to turnovers. When they perform well and they have less turnovers, I'm talking not double-digit figures. I'm talking if it's less than double digits, that's perfect. Turnovers. If they're able to hold and maintain the ball, they'll be set.
Capital needing a big win here as they look to close out the regular season strong. It starts tonight against a Heidelberg team that finds themselves in the upper echelon of the OAC standings, tied for second in the standings with Mount Union. Both those teams 2 games back of first place, Marietta. We'll have the call for you. Heidelberg versus Capital coming up next here at athletics.capital.edu. Once again, good evening, everyone. Alongside Jonathan Brown, I'm Charlie Danis. This is a presentation of Capital Men's Basketball. Here on athletics.capital.edu, the Comets taking on the Heidelberg Student Princes. Let's get to tonight's starting lineups, beginning with the visiting Student Princes of Heidelberg University. At guard, the sophomore from Gahanna, Ohio, number 3, Zane Lightwine. Also at guard, the 6'1" senior from the Queen City of Cincinnati, Ohio, number 4, Dylan Woods. Also at guard, the 5'10" senior from Shaker Heights, Ohio, number 11, Emmanuel Purdue. Also at guard, the 6'1" freshman from Akron, Ohio, number 12, Isaiah Young. And rounding out the starting five for the Student Princes tonight, the 6'4" senior forward from Clyde, Ohio, number 22, Seth Homan. The head coach of the Student Princes is Andy Buhai. He's in his 9th year at Heidelberg. And now the starting lineup for the Capital Comets. At guard, coming off of a game-winning buzzer beater to help the Comets defeat the Ohio Northern Polar Bears, the 6-foot sophomore from Springfield, Ohio, number 1, David Sanford. At forward, the 6'7" freshman from Ottoville, Ohio, number 5, Ryan Seaver. Also at guard, the 6'2" sophomore from the Queen City of Cincinnati, number 11, Caleb Crawford. At forward, the 6'3" senior from Fort Mitchell, Kentucky, number 12, Tyler Schreck. And finally, rounding out the starting five for the Comets tonight, the 6'5" freshman forward from Akron, Ohio, number 20, Dom Magerle. The head coach of the Comets in his 27th year here at Capital, the legend, Damon Goodwin.
This is going to be a game tonight. This is going to be a game tonight.
Heidelberg coming out in their road black jerseys. Looks like silver lettering or silver around the numbers and the letters. Capital, meanwhile, in their customary home gray uniforms. White numbers and letters outlined by purple. Our officials tonight, we have a brother duo this evening here at the Capital Center. Adam Sensabaugh is the head referee. His brother Brian Sensabaugh will help him, along with James Pouncey. We are ready to jump it up here at the Capital Center. The tip is won by Heidelberg, and we are underway here in Bexley. Dylan Woods being guarded by Magerle, bouncing over to Homan. Homan will hand off to Purdue. Purdue down the lane, and he gets to the go with the left hand.
They're coming off strong already.
He torched Capital for 21 points in the last meeting between both of these teams. A double-digit win for Heidelberg earlier this season. So an early 2-0 lead thanks to a made bucket by Purdue. And now Magerle will look inside. Catch made by Seaver. Seaver, jump hook, and it'll roll in. 2-2 game.
That's good ball court vision right there. Putting it in a place where only Seaver could get it.
Heidelberg back with it. Lightwine over to Purdue. Back outside to Woods. Woods dribbling to his left. A little kick to the outside now. Homan trying to drive. Down the lane, off the glass, no good. Missed by Lightwine, and the rebound taken by Sanford. Up ahead to Crawford. Crawford evading pressure. Now back out to Sanford. Sanford dribbles to his left, and the ball is tipped, and it's a turnover. Coming up with a loose ball is Zane Lightwine. Early turnover for Capital.
Got to slow it down, calm down.
And Purdue, meantime, driving down the lane, but took one too many steps. That's a traveling violation. That will result in Capital basketball.
Both teams are going to try to come out here swinging already. 2 turnovers already. You just need to relax, calm down, play your game.
Caleb Crawford will bring it across the timeline. The sophomore out of Cincinnati has steadily improved as the season has gone on. Magerle bouncing it over to Schreck. Schreck goes inside to Magerle. Now not bounce. Back to Schreck. Can't finish the layup, and the rebound taken by Dylan Woods. Nice give and go action. Schreck just couldn't finish.
Not enough jelly right there.
Woods, meanwhile, will launch a three. That's no good, but the offensive rebound corralled by Homan. Homan back outside to Lightwine. As a new offensive possession begins here for Heidelberg. Purdue trying to drive, cut off defensively. Now back outside to Woods. 7 on the shot clock for Heidelberg. Woods still in the corner being guarded by Sanford. He'll go baseline, he'll drive. Shot altered by Schreck, but the putback is good. And now a 30-second timeout is going to be called by Capital.
That was a quick block party. That was a split second as the student princes were able to get their own rebound right there. See, that Shrek is going to try to create those kind of disruptions right there for the Comets. But the thing is, somebody's got to be able to get the ball back. So I know it's conjectured down there, down low, so it's hard to get the ball back. But the Princess is going to try to bring it down all day in the paint. I'm telling you, they're going to come down all in the paint.
Especially Purdue. Purdue just has that extra gear, that extra mortar that allows them to get to the hoop. So a timeout taken here by Capital. It's a quick one, only 30 seconds, so we're immediately back to action. 7:51 remaining in the first half. The score, Heidelberg 4, Capital 2. I think Damon Goodwin was just trying to get his guys a little bit refocused after that last defensive possession. And now Shrek losing the ball out of bounds, but it got tipped by a Heidelberg player. It'll remain with the Comets. 20 seconds remain on the shot clock.
See, now I like that call by Coach Goodwin right there. Your team should be used to situations like this. And I know now they're on this win streak. It's just you got to focus in.
Sanford making the catch just over the hands of Lightwine. Sanford over to Magerle. Dom driving, puts it up, and missed it. Out of bounds, they'll give it to Heidelberg. Tough break there for Dom. Made a nice move to the bucket, but just couldn't get that one to go.
I ain't never seen that move before, but it almost went in.
Magerle, a 6'5 freshman from Akron, Ohio. He's got loads of athletic potential, but still raw as a college basketball player. Purdue, jumper, short, and rebound taken by Sanford. Sanford, cross half court. To the top of the arc, down the lane, off the glass, no good. Rebound, putback is good for Ryan Seaver.
Nice putback right there by Seaver. Sanford tried to switch over to his right hand for that layup.
Woods, tough shot and gets it to go. Dylan Woods, the senior from Cincinnati, Ohio, gives Heidelberg the lead right back, 6-4 in favor of the Student Princes. Caleb Crawford on the left wing. Crawford, he'll now try to drive, puts it up and in. Nice blow by Crawford.
He was just sizing him up, just waiting to see what you're going to do.
Tied at 6. 16 and a half to play in the first half. Woods to Purdue. Over to Lightwine on the right wing. Lightwine back to Purdue at the top of the arc. Purdue still dribbling around, trying to clear some space against Caleb Crawford, who's hounding him defensively. Pass off to Homan. Homan, deep three, and he knocks it down. Homan shooting 33% from three-point range, but he's able to knock that down and give Heidelberg a three-point lead.
That was good defense, but better offense by the Student Princes right there to get that shot off.
9-6 in favor of the Student Princes, under 16 to play in the first half. Seaver nearly has his pocket pick, but he's able to recover it. Now over to Shrek on the right wing. Pass over to Magerle. Dom will bounce it inside to Crawford. Crawford twisting, turning, tough shot. Can't get that one to go, and the rebound taken by Seth Homan.
Looking to get a foul call right there, but like hustling, getting back on defense here.
Isaiah Young, a little bit of a spin move. Now over to Homan. Homan can't get the tough shot to go, and the rebound taken by Seaver. Into the hands of Crawford now. He'll take it across half court. He'll bounce it over to Sanford for three. Splash! Sanford picking up right where he left off after the buzzer beater in the win over Ohio Northern, his first triple of the night.
That's how you got to get things rolling right there. As it ties the game up right now, I'm telling you, slowly yet surely, trust the process. Do what you all been doing to get you here.
9-9 game, 15:05 to play in the first half. Purdue sees an opening, blows by, and he gets fouled on his way to the 10. So he'll now head to the free throw line. The foul looks like will be called against Tyler Shrek, his first, team's first. So now Purdue will head to the foul line where he is shooting 64% this season, averaging 15 points per game. A 5'10 senior from the Cleveland area. Grew up in Shaker Heights, Ohio, as the first free throw is made. Ryan Roth and Alex Iink will check in for Capital. Coming in for the Student Princes will be Eric Panning, who has quietly put together a very good campaign as one of the better post players in the OAC. Purdue, no good. Splits the pair at the line.
Well, that substitution, we just put in somebody that, the Princes, they talked about earlier, they don't have that best three-point shooter. The Comets just brought in their three-point assassin and Raw.
Meanwhile, Sanford loses the ball out of bounds, but it went off the hands. Looked like a Trey Watkins who was also checked in. Speaking of people checking in Nakai Taylor, the junior from Columbus, former Groveport Madison product. He's into the ball game for the Student Princes. 10-9 lead for Heidelberg. 14:45 to play in the first half. Schreck to Sanford. Sanford for three.
Splash!
Second made free throw, three-pointer of the night for David Sanford. He's gotten off to a hot start from deep.
Ice in his veins. I know the weather's cold outside, but he is feeling colder.
Woods twists and turns, jumper, no good, rebound. Nice rebound by Schreck, who saves it inbounds to Iyink. Iyink will take it across half court. Now in the hands of Roth to Schreck. Schreck will pitch it to Sanford. Sanford kind of feeling it. Nice fake. Lost it out of bounds off the hands of Heidelberg.
I'm not going to lie, Sanford had me on that cyclone spin right there.
He was looking to put a move on somebody. Luckily, they keep possession here as the inbound is successful to Schreck. Over to Sanford. Sanford for three.
Splash!
Third made three-pointer of the night for Sanford.
That is 3 in a row. He is 2 in a row, back to back. He's feeling it.
15-10 lead for Capital. 13:55 to play in the first half. In the hands of Watkins. Watkins driving down the lane and scoring.
Now you can't make it that easy. You got to have some pressure down low.
Former Reynoldsburg High School Pirate. Or actually, take that back. He's from South High School. He grew up in Reynoldsburg. Three-pointer on the way.
Splash!
Another one made, this time by Ryan Seaver. 18-12 in favor of Capital.
I see you talked about that earlier. That's one thing the Princes don't have. They don't have somebody who they can trust to shoot the ball from behind the arc.
Woods, meanwhile, going downhill, puts up a tough shot, and a nice rebound by Schreck. To Roth, quickly ahead to Sanford. He'll put up another three.
Splash!
He is on fire! David Sanford is on fire tonight here at the Capitol Center as a timeout is called by Heidelberg. What do you make of Mr. Sanford tonight?
That's 4 3-pointers. That's 3 in a row. This boy is hot. It is hot.
We'll take a break. 13-13 remaining in the first half. Capital 21, Heidelberg 12 here on athletics.capital.edu. Remaining in the first half. Capital 21, Heidelberg 12. It has been the David Sanford show so far. All 4 of his makes have been from three-point land. 12 points already for the sophomore from Springfield.
He's already hit how many he averages in the game so far. So I'm feeling. If he's feeling this hot, who knows where he'll go.
His points per game average is 12. He's already hit that tonight. Watkins, meanwhile, trying to get something going here offensively for Heidelberg. Homan for three. That is no good. Rebound is taken by Capital. Griffin Dosick ahead to Sanford. Sanford, jumper. He rims out. Dosick gets the offensive board, however. Roth, deep three. And Watkins grabs the rebound for Heidelberg. The crowd was definitely wanting that one. Watkins will go down the lane, and he'll get fouled. The foul will go against Alex Iyink, his first, team second. And Watkins will be heading to the foul line. Trey Watkins, a junior out of Reynoldsburg, Ohio, went to South High School, averaging 7.6 points per game. Actually, they called that on the floor. In the meantime,
the man
Crawford,
with a hot hand, is headed to the bench.
Yep, Crawford will check back in for Capital. 21-12 lead for the Comets. Loose ball. Somehow Heidelberg gets it back. Then it's out of bounds, and then it's off a Capital player. So Student Princes will keep possession. 15 seconds remain on the shot clock.
Good disruption right there by Joe Thompson. And I know we talked about Crawford coming into his shell, stepping into this new role. Look out for Joe Thompson, too, getting more involved as the season gets along.
Ball nearly stripped away, but Panning gets it back for Heidelberg. 5 seconds to shoot for the Bird. Holman down the lane, lost it out of bounds, and they'll say it went off of the hand of Dosick, or was that Thompson? It was Thompson. So now 2 seconds remain here on the shot clock. Heidelberg gets it in to Watkins. Tough shot, and that does not graze iron. Great defense by Ryan Roth, denying Watkins there in the corner.
I like that block party. We like block parties on a Wednesday.
21-12 lead for Cap. 12-10 remaining in the first half. Right now, David Sanford will sit on the bench. Let's see if some other players can step up here for Capital offensively. Roth on the left wing. Gets a screen from Dosick. He'll dribble to his right. Roth still with the ball. Now over to Thompson. Back to Roth. Roth will launch a deep three.
Splash!
Another three-pointer made for Capital.
He's got it.
24-12 lead. It's a 12-point advantage for the Comets here in the early going. Handling the ball now is Isaiah Young. Being guarded by Crawford. Barely gets it over to Woods. Now it's Holman for three. That's off the mark. Rebound taken by Caleb Crawford.
Yeah, I guess they don't have service. We ain't called back.
Crawford inside. Dosick gets fouled. The foul will go against Seth Holman, his first, team's first.
I'm telling you, when Dosick's only a junior, I'm telling you, next year, at the offseason, add a little bit more weight, he'd go up on him.
7.1 points per game for the junior from Anna, Ohio. Shooting 73% from the line this season. Right-handed shooter. Dosick puts his first shot up, and it's good. Couple substitutions, I should say, for Heidelberg. Coming in for the Student Princes, Dylan Woods and Emmanuel Purdue. One more free throw upcoming here for Dosick. Shot is up, and it's good. 26-12 lead for Capital. 11-22 remaining in the first half. Dylan Woods back out. Watkins, deep three, knocks it down.
In his face, that was deep. I'll give you that was deep.
Watkins has shot nearly 93 pointers heading into this game, although only shooting 28% from deep. He is not afraid to shoot. Meantime, Crawford, double teamed, looking for some help, getting it over to Thompson. 12 to shoot. Thompson, top of the arc, over to Roth. Roth trying to get open. Thompson, he'll let loose a three. That's off the mark, and the rebound. Now a foul called against Heidelberg. It was Dosick that initially went up for the ball. The foul will go against Emmanuel Purdue, his first, team second.
During that play, his shoe came off, and he was trying to adjust it. Foul should have been called early. He was swinging his arm around, trying to maintain. But the Princes, they seem to adjust right now. They're trying to create more three-point pressure.
Dosick, left wing to Thompson. Now to Ryan Roth. Roth being hounded defensively by Watkins. Now it's back in the hands of Crawford. 10 to shoot. Crawford calling for a screen. Crawford still at the top of the arc. 3, 2. Thompson will let loose a three. That's no good, off the mark, and the rebound is taken by Heidelberg. As tumbling to the floor that time was Royal Sibby. Watkins, little spin move inside. Sibby, bounce off the glass and in. Royal Sibley, the freshman from Columbus, with a bucket.
The Princes, they're going to find a way to get to the castle, and they're raiding it.
Capital 26, Heidelberg 17, out of bounds, and it will stay with Capital as Sanford will check back in for the Comets. Checking in for Heidelberg is Lightwine. And then one more substitution coming in for Capital, Dom Magerly. Well, I spoke too soon. As well as Ryan Seaver. All right, we all good, fellas? Okay, let's play ball. Sanford will inbound it in front of the Heidelberg bench. Gets it in successfully to Dosick. Dosick, top of the arc. Back in the hands of Sanford, who's had the hot hand early. 4 made three-pointers. Sanford driving down the lane. Can't get the driving layup to go. Trying to save it out of bounds was Seaver, but he can't. It's Heidelberg basketball.
Almost had the reverse, and that raises the question. If you have a player who's hot starting off, do you pull him? I know you got a rotation and everything. Do you let that player play through that heat that they got going on?
I would play that player, especially with the way that Sanford was hitting three-pointers. And it's interesting that he decided to just drive it towards the hoop that time, but hopefully he can keep this hot shooting going tonight. He's already got 12 points. Meanwhile, tough shot in the lane.
Block
no
party.
Good. And Sanford is able to come up with the loose ball as Purdue was denied. Sanford down the lane, off the glass, can't get it to go. Seaver with the offensive board for Capital. Magerly with a little spin move. Loses the ball. Tumbling down to the floor of some players before Watkins finally gets it. He'll bounce it over to Purdue. Purdue will miss the layup, and Seaver grabs the rebound for Capital. Thought for sure that was going in off the hands of Purdue.
Slow it down. There you go. Slow it down. Get
Capital
your team in rhythm.
Capital 26, Heidelberg 17. 8:55 remaining in the first half. Seaver looking for something. Gets it over to Dosick. Sanford, he'll let loose another three. No good, and the rebound taken by Watkins.
It's his first three-point miss of the game.
Meantime, a little cherry picking going on as Dylan Woods was able to quickly get back down the floor for two. For Heidelberg, it's now 26-19. Sanford, he of the 12 points, and the hot shooting from three-point range across half court. Over to Roth on the left wing. Roth will dribble to his left. Now he'll pass off to Dosick. 12 to shoot for Capital. Now in the hands of Magerle. Magerle will try to go inside, but it's a turnover. Purdue comes away with the turnover as they were trying to get the ball inside. He'll now go downhill, and he'll put, no, it will be a miss as Purdue was trying a little left-handed hook shot out of bounds. It will remain Heidelberg basketball as Crawford, Schreck, and Iank come back into the ball game for Capital. Meanwhile, entering for Heidelberg, Isaiah Young.
Now, if you know this team is their strong suit is bringing it into the paint, you would expect that the team will more close in to create more pressure, but somehow the Princess is finding a way to still get shots up.
Isaiah Young out of bounds along the baseline. Excellent defense that time by Caleb Crawford.
That's good defense right there, forcing him off the baseline.
7:59 remaining in the first half. Capital with a 26-19 lead. Capital shooting 45% from the field. Heidelberg 38% from the field. The 6 main three-pointers have made a big difference in this game so far for the Comets. Schreck with the ball on the right wing. 12 to shoot for the Comets. Schreck dribbles inside over to Sanford. Sanford from the right elbow. No good, and the rebound taken by Isaiah Young of Heidelberg.
Since those 4 three-pointer attempts, he's missed the last 5.
Young, meantime, trying to drive inside, cut off. Now in the hands of Woods. Woods trying to drive, step back three, and he knocks it down. And now a timeout's going to be taken by Capital. After the hot start by Capital, Heidelberg's starting to make a little bit of a run here. We'll step aside. 7:19 remaining in the first half. It's Capital 26, Heidelberg 22 on athletics.capital.edu. $7:19 remaining in the first half. It's been an entertaining first half between these two teams. 26-22 lead for Capital, and the Student Princes, Jonathan, all of a sudden making a little bit of a run here.
They're somehow, people are forgetting this team is ranked number 3 in the OAC, and actually they perform better on the road. On the road, they are 9-1.
They have definitely been road warriors to this point in the season. Schreck twisting, turning, can't get the bucket to go. That was great defense that time by Seth Homan.
Trying to find a way to get over that 6'9", that height difference right there.
Young, meantime, back out to Woods. Woods, another step back three, and he knocks another one down from almost the exact same spot.
Somebody's warming up. Somebody's warming up right now.
The lead is now shrunk to 1. 26-25, approaching 6.5 to play in the first half. Crawford to Sanford. Sanford trying to dribble inside. Holds it, now over to Crawford. Crawford, jumper, no good. Tapped around, Crawford gets the miss. Back outside, Sanford, pump fake, three-pointer. No good, rebound taken by Homan.
He is not hit since on that hot streak, which raises the question, did Coach pull him too early? Is he unable to get back in that zone he was in?
Isaiah Young, meantime, being hounded defensively by Sanford. Now they get the ball over to Purdue. 13 to shoot for Heidelberg. Back outside to Lightwine. Lightwine, 15-footer, no good, and the rebound taken by Iank. Iank ahead and over the head of everybody. He was trying to hit a running Ryan Seaver, but a little too much oomph behind that pass. It results in a turnover for Capital, as now checking in for Heidelberg is Nakai Taylor.
Wide open pass right there. He's looking a little bit more like Baker Mayfield, just unable to connect with your teammates right there.
5:45 remaining in the first half. Capital 26, Heidelberg 25. Young trying to get it over to Woods, but that will go out of bounds, and now it's back to Capital. And now Magerle and Thompson will check in for the Comets. Back in for Heidelberg, Trey Watkins.
See, that's what people need to understand. When you make a turnover or create a turnover, most players, they get upset and try to just do too much. Right there, he just went back and played hard defense and was able to cause a disruption to get the ball back.
Iank on the right wing, passed over to Sanford. Sanford top of the arc, bounced over to Thompson. Thompson trying to find somebody on the inside, but everything is clogged up in the middle. Magerle, top of the arc, over to Thompson for three. No good, and the rebound is taken by Zane Lightwine. Seems like everybody's gone cold for Capital all of a sudden. Outside to Watkins. Watkins, deep three, and he knocks it down. A lead for the first time in a while for Heidelberg. And it's now a 2-point lead for Heidelberg as a timeout will be taken. 5:03 remaining in the first half. Heidelberg 28, Capital 26. This is Capital Men's Basketball, athletics.capital.edu. (28-26) lead for Heidelberg. 5:03 remaining in the first half. Jonathan, what does Capital need to do to get back into the flow of things offensively?
Well, what we've seen so far, Sanford, he's trying to keep that hot streak going, and right now you just lost out of rhythm. Now you got to start playing more team ball. Find the shots that you're looking for, been practicing.
Thompson falling, gets it over to Magerle. Back to Thompson. Thompson dribbling over to Iank. 9 to shoot for Capital. Iank on the left wing, dribbling to his right. Over to Seaver, back to Thompson. 3 to shoot, 2 to shoot. Thompson can't hit rim. That's a shot clock violation and a very discombobulated offensive possession coming out of the timeout.
You call the timeout right there. You got to have your team situated, and just there was no connection, no communication right there to find the right shot.
So a 2-point edge for Heidelberg as we tick under 4.5 to play in the first half. Dylan Woods down the lane and scores. Boy, Heidelberg got off to a slow start offensively, but since then they have really picked it up.
Well, we talked about their three-pointers in the game, and as a team they shoot 32% from behind the arc, but they found a way to get going. Dylan Woods has been able to shoot 2 threes to get the team on track, and now hopefully the Comets can find some way to get on track right now.
Magerle, left wing, bouncing it inside to Seaver. 8 to shoot for Capital. Seaver, twisting, turning, turnaround jumper, no good, and the rebound. It's going to go out of bounds, actually, and it will go to Heidelberg. Couple substitutions now as Keandre Graves and Griffin Dosick check in for Capital. You know, it's not just that Capital has been missing these shots, Jonathan. I've been noticing that a lot of these shots have been really tough shots. They haven't had a lot of space to work with, particularly on the inside.
I mean, you know, with this team, knowing that they're going to replicate, they're going to grit and grind team, the Princesses, they understand how to stop teams from coming in the interior as well.
Watkins missing the shot, but gets his own miss after it was tipped by Seaver. Now back inside, and a made bucket right there by Eric Panning.
That was a great pass right there. Just a nice little tip to get it into his hands. Panning, the 6'9" wing, that height right there.
Seaver to Graves, inside to Dosick. Dosick, couple of dribbles, trying to back his man down to the lane. Tough shot, no good, off the back rim, and a rebound by Heidelberg, who possesses a 6-point lead at the moment. Akai Taylor trying to take his man one-on-one, but he'll pass it back outside to Woods. Now Woods, long jumper, and he'll knock that down. That'll only be a 2-pointer, but man, he's had that step back working.
That crossover was just too smooth right there.
So now it's an 8-point lead for Heidelberg, their largest lead of the game. 2:43 remaining in the first half. Dosick, top of the arc. Iank and the rest of this Capital offense trying to find some answers here. Graves to Sanford. Sanford, 8 points. Sanford has his shot rejected and then saved by Watkins. And then ahead to Woods, but too far for Woods. as he'll have to save it to Taylor. Watkins for three. That'll rattle in and out and in. Oh, boy.
The Princess on fire right now.
That is the ultimate example of when you got it going on, you got it going on right there. Is that shot really hit the rim, bounced out, then bounced right back in. 37-26. Heidelberg with the lead. 2:16 remaining here in the first half. And boy, it's been quite the turnaround for Heidelberg here offensively. Got off to the cold start, but those guards just have a great time of driving down the lane. We've seen Woods make plays like that. We've seen Purdue drive. But the three-point shooting, that's been the most shocking part to me. Statistically, Heidelberg really hasn't been all that impressive, but they brought their A game from downtown.
Well, after the hot start to Sanford with Sanford, I think Heidelberg pulled their mask off their face and was like, okay, it's go time. It's time to get serious. And they showed they are serious, able to find a way. Shout out to Dylan Woods, who was able to get a couple step backs, three-pointers to get his team back in it. And this team has just been rolling.
Dylan Woods with 14 points to lead all scorers for Heidelberg. Also, how about Trey Watkins? It's been a tough year for the young man from Reynoldsburg, Ohio, from a shooting standpoint, only shooting 34% from the field and 28% from three-point range. He's already got 11 points, and he's a perfect 3 for 3 from downtown. Just goes to show you, any given night, anything can happen. Keandre Graves, meantime, bouncing it over to Alex Wyatt. As some fresh young faces have now entered the ball game for Capital, with Nate Gerber as well. Gerber will let loose a three. That's no good, and the rebound is taken by Heidelberg. Aside from Sanford and Keandre Graves, there's some guys out there that really haven't gotten a lot of minutes for Capital, as that shot is missed by Royal Sibley. Sanford, he'll let loose a three. No good. Rebound Capital. And now a jump ball will be called. Thought initially that was going to be a foul against Homan, as he got a little tangled up there with Nate Gerber, the sophomore out of Laddie, Ohio. So now Sanford will check out. And now Ryan Roth will check in. Do you think Damon Goodwin is sending a little bit of a message to his team? Hey, I'm willing to play other guys here if you guys don't straighten things out. As Graves will let loose a three. That'll rattle in and out. No good by Heidelberg.
Capital has been scoreless for over the last 10 minutes now. I guess Goodwin is laying next man up, trying to find somebody to get something rolling right now.
I don't blame him. He's just trying to find a spark somewhere, somehow, as Watkins misses a shot. The rebound is ultimately corralled by Alex Wyatt. Or actually, excuse me, Justin Nixon. Three-pointer.
Splash!
Finally, Capital makes a three-pointer after a long drought from downtown. 37-29 in favor of Heidelberg. 52 seconds and counting here in the first half.
Surprising that first shot attempt to go in over 10 minutes is a three-pointer, knowing this team just has not been hitting after Sanford's hot streak.
Meanwhile, nice pass inside as Homan gets the great feed from Sibley. 10-point lead for Heidelberg. 33 seconds and counting, about a 5-second differential between shot clock and game clock. Roth brings it across half court. Being picked up defensively by Nakai Taylor, finally gets it out of his hands over to Keandre Graves. Graves with 11 to shoot. Graves just dribbling around at this point. 7 to shoot, 6 to shoot. Graves, right wing, lost it, over to Roth. Pump fake, jumper, no good for Nate Gerber, but a loose ball. Wyatt gets it back. And Graves can't get the shot off in time. He missed it anyway. And that's how the first half will end. At the half, Heidelberg 39, Capital 29. We'll check scores around the OAC, around men's college basketball top 25 action in Division I, and we'll also talk a little Super Bowl as well during our halftime show. Again, Heidelberg 39, Capital 29. This is Capital Men's Basketball on athletics.capital.edu. Halftime here at the Capitol Center. The score, Heidelberg 39, Capital 29. We'll examine the stats from that first half in just a moment. But in the meantime, let's get you caught up with some scores around the Ohio Athletic Conference. We begin with a game involving John Carroll and Otterbein. And 2:22 remaining in the first half of that one. Otterbein leading John Carroll in that one by a score of 40-26. Leading all scorers in Otterbein in that game is Cam Evans. He has already got 17 for the Cardinals in that game. Let's see here. Elsewhere around the OAC. Ooh, should be a good one here tonight against Marietta and Mountain Union. Although, heading into the second half, well, how about this? Marietta leading the Purple Raiders 43-18.
You sure you read that one more time?
43-18. These are two teams that are 18-2. Mountain Union came into action tonight, 2 games behind Marietta in the OAC standings. And this is what Marietta is doing to the Purple Raiders tonight. 43-18 in favor of the Pioneers. 13 points early on from Shami Willoughby and 12 points from Mason Leidick. I mean, the Pioneers this year, I've seen really good Pioneers teams in the past. This one is on a different level.
Yeah, that's just, there's a reason they're undefeated in the conference, and this right here is a statement. That's a statement letting you know that the number 1 seed is ours.
Elsewhere around the OAC, 40 seconds to go in the first half at Muskingum. The Muskies trailing Wilmington in that one, 42-32. And finally, close ball game between the Polar Bears and the Yellow Jackets. It is Ohio Northern leading Baldwin Wallace in that one, 38-34. Now some scores involving some top 25 teams at the Division I level. 16th ranked Ohio State trailing Rutgers 27-26 with 2.5 to play in the first half of that ball game. 6th ranked Houston leading Southern Methodist 44-35, 3:06 remaining in the first half of that ball game. 25th ranked Xavier, they are being taken to the woodshed right now by Seton Hall. The Pirates beating up on the Musketeers 32-18, 3.5 to play in the first half of that ball game. Those are just some scores involving some Division I teams in the top 25. Mr. Brown, there is a big game supposedly being played on Sunday night of the football variety, Super Bowl 56. The first matchup ever between 4 seeds in a Super Bowl as the LA Rams get set to take on the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, you are a Cincinnati native. You're not necessarily a Bengals fan, but you are a Cincinnati native. Give me an idea of what this run has been like for the Queen City.
The city is lit like no other. And I know we have our winter or light shows that goes on during this time of the year, but the city is unlike no other. You know that Monday, there's no school, so the city is ready for a Super Bowl championship. Now, that may sound crazy, but we actually used to get that Monday off before we were even in the Super Bowl, but they made it official this year. So the city of Cincinnati is excited, beyond excited. It's crazy. It's unfortunate, though, that those Super Bowl ticket prices is out of this world, astronomical thousands, where local fans can't go and support their team. But if those who are traveling to L.A. to go support the Bengals, trust, it's going to be a lot of orange and black there.
What do you make of the matchup, and what do the Bengals need to do in order to get a win?
Run game. I know what Joe Burrow is going to do. He's going to do what he does best. But if Joe Mixon is able to get some action going running the ball, you can't stop that tandem right there. Offensive line, it ain't the best perfect offensive line in the world, but if they're able to just hold Aaron Donald and Von Miller, I think they'll be fine. Not worried about Jamar Chase and that Ramsey Island. Ramsey's one of the best DBs in the league, but we got Tyler Boyd, C.J. Usman, Uzama. I like what we got in T. Higgins too. It's anybody's game. It's honestly who wants it the most. And you know what's crazy? Last year we had the oldest head coaching matchup with their combined ages and Bruce Arians. And last year Andy Reid. And this year we have the youngest combined ages for head coach and Sean McVay and Zach Taylor.
Should be a good game between the Rams and the Bengals. Quick score prediction.
It's going to be a defensive game. I say 27-24 Bengals.
Okay. I'll go 24-21 Bengals. Should be a good one. Let's hope the Bengals can bring it home. Hoo day. In the meantime, let's go ahead and take a look at some stats from our first half. Heidelberg leading Capital 39-29. Before we get to the stats, okay, so it's interesting. David Sanford gets off to that really hot start. 12 points. He hits his first 4 threes. Capital rolling offensively. But then Heidelberg came roaring back. They have a 10-point lead here at the half. Why?
I don't know what happened there. The hot streak by Sanford, he was able to get four three-pointers, 3 in a row. He was feeling hot. Coach pulled him. I understand you got your rotation, but when you have a player who is shooting like that, lights out to start the game off, you keep him in. And so when he came in back in the game, he figured he can pick off where he left off, and he was unable to do that, and he just kept pulling. That was hindering the team versus helping the team.
Tough way for the Comets to end the first half. In the meantime, Heidelberg really turning it on offensively. Taking a look at the team statistics, Heidelberg shooting 49% from the field. Meanwhile, Capital, who was shooting great to begin this game, they come into halftime shooting only 29% from the field. They got off to a smoking start from three-point land. Capital finishing 7 of 17 from beyond the arc, good for 41%. Meanwhile, Heidelberg has made the most of their chances from three-point range, 6 of 9, good for 67%. There were only a grand total of 4 fouls called between the two teams, which is saying something considering how whistle-happy some crews tend to be here in the OAC. Heidelberg 1 of 2 from the line, good for 50%. Capital a perfect 2 of 2 from the foul line. Both teams pretty much even in the rebounding category. Heidelberg 18, Capital 17. Assists, Heidelberg 8, Capital 6. Turnovers, Heidelberg 6, Capital 5. Bench points, Heidelberg 15, Capital 8. Blocks, Capital 2, Heidelberg 1. Fast break points, Capital 6, Heidelberg 5. Steals, Heidelberg 3, Capital 2. Points off turnovers, Capital 3, Heidelberg 2. Points in the paint, big advantage for Heidelberg, 18-6 in favor of the Student Princes. Second chance points, 4-2 in favor of the Student Princes. We have seen 4 ties, a couple of lead changes. Capital at one point led this game by as much as 14, but they trail Heidelberg by 10 here at the half. And Jonathan, if you would, the individual statistics.
Well, starting off with the Capital Comets, like we said, that hot streak. David Sanford came out shooting lights out from behind the arc. He was 4 for 4 nearly halfway through that first half, and then that team was just unable. As when he went cold, the rest of the team went cold. He's leading the team right now with 12 points. That's his season average right now, so hopefully he can continue to improve on that and find his rhythm. Right behind him with 7 points of his own is Ryan Seaver. They've been doing a good job of maintaining to try to get rebounds. Nobody's really been out-rebounding in this situation right here. Leading the rebounders as well is Ryan Seaver as well. A lot of teammates of him with 2 of their own. They're not doing a very good job of passing the ball around. There's not many assists going on for this team, and that's what they need to do here in the second half to get things rolling. But if we take a look at the Princesses and what they've been doing, that boy Dylan Woods, I don't know what he tapped into, but after he hit them 2 step-back threes, he most definitely was feeling it. And can't count out his teammate, the 5'11 guard, junior from Riddlesburg, Ohio, Trey Watkins. Now, he only averages 7.6 on the season, but tonight he's got double-digit figures already with 11 points so far in the first half. And not only that, he's got 4 rebounds to add to that right behind the team leading rebounder right now, and Seth Holman right now. This team right now, they're going to continue to find a way to get down low in the paint. And we talked about earlier how this team isn't known from shooting behind the arc. Well, today they're shooting fearlessly, and that adds a different persona to your team when you just don't absolutely care no more. And you're gonna go out there and just play your hardest. And this team right now, they I don't know if they had a backup team that they brought out first, or they brought out somebody else, but this team has definitely showed up, and they are ready to go in the second half.
In the meantime, it seems as though the Capital needs to regain that confidence that they had early on offensively. Now, granted, a lot of it had to do with the three-point shooting prowess of David Sanford, but how can Capital get back into the groove of things on the offensive side?
Play like you've been playing here. I know they're shooting a lot of threes. They finished that first half shooting with a total of 17 threes and only hitting 7. I understand some of the shots were just thrown up because the shot clock was going out. But play what you've been doing here, pick and roll game, finding ways to get down low. Now, I know the Princes, they have a big man down low, Eric Panning, the 6'9 wing, sophomore, so he's been causing traffic down there. But Shrek and other players have been able to cause some disruption and get blocks for the Capital Comets. with their own blocks of their own. Shrek has one block as well as Ryan Roth. This team needs to find what they've done to continue to get here. We're hoping here that this team, I don't know if Coach Godwin is going to continue to keep in those young players he had to finish off the second half, but hopefully that's a message to the starters and letting you know you can be replaced next man up.
It was very interesting towards the end of that first half. Coach Goodwin was looking for a spark, and we saw players out there like Justin Nixon, Nate Gerber, that haven't gotten a lot of playing time, so perhaps that will serve as a wake-up call to the rest of his players. It'll be very interesting to see who Coach Goodwin trots out there to begin this half. Looks like Shrek will be out there along with Caleb Crawford, Dom Magerly. Also see Ryan Seaver going out there and David Sanford. So the regular starters are back in. But like I said, hopefully that little strategy towards the end of the first half kind of lit a fire under all the other players for Capital.
Especially the seniors on this team right now. Shrek, you got to take the leadership role, get your team rolling. You've been in situations like this before.
Purdue swung out to Woods, swung around, Lightwine for three, no good. Rebound taken by Ryan Seaver. Great box out by Seaver. Crawford, top of the arc. Waving his hands around, trying to direct traffic. He's on the right wing, pass over to Sanford. 18 to shoot for Capital. Bounce over to Shrek. Shrek near the right elbow. Looking over the defense, dribbling inside. Over to Seaver, 8 to shoot. Seaver, tough jumper in the lane is good. 39-31. Lead cut to 8 as we are just underway here in the second half. Woods bounced over to Lightwine. Back in the hands of Dylan Woods, the senior from Cincinnati. Now over to Isaiah Young. To Purdue. Young missed the pass, but Woods is able to clean it up. Now Purdue. Real tough shot, and somehow he got that to go.
That's your strength right there, just being able to hold on to it with one hand and get it up there.
Back up to a 10-point lead for Heidelberg. 18:45 left to play in the second half. 41-31 in favor of the Student Princes. Shrek, right wing, or left wing, excuse me. Sanford has a shot blocked, but gets it back. Back over to Shrek. Shrek trying to drive in, twisting, turning. Tough follow away, no good, but he did get fouled. The foul looks like it will go against Eric Panning. His first, team's first of the half. So now headed to the free throw line is Tyler Shrek, the senior from Fort Mitchell, Kentucky, 67% from the foul line this year. Shot is up and good.
Right now, the Comets, they gotta find a way to get Shrek more involved down low, knowing that the Princes only have that main big man in Panning just due to his height size. You gotta find a way to get down low. There's a lot of mismatches here.
Misses the second free throw. Shrek to this point with only 1 point. 41-32 lead. The Heidelberg lead cut to 9. Purdue inside. Over to Young. Young kick out to Purdue. Purdue trying to drive inside. Now back out to Lightwine. Lightwine double teamed. Tipped around. Panning puts it up and in.
There was 2 Capital Comets jerseys around that man, and he was still able to get it up.
I'll tell you what, Panning's quietly had a pretty good season. 9.6 points per game, 8.3 rebounds per game. Crawford to Seaver, back to Crawford. Crawford trying to drive in off the glass, and the bucket is missed, but a blocking foul is going to be called against Heidelberg's Isaiah Young, his first, team second.
Good way for Crawford to get to the line. Now, you talked about another interesting stat with the number of fouls in the game. There weren't a lot of many free throw attempts in that first half.
Crawford, meantime, puts it up and no good. Only 4 free throws combined between the two teams in the first half.
You got to have that. This is free throws for a reason. Take your charity stripes.
Second shot for Crawford is no good. Oh, thought that would rattle back in for a moment as it hit the backboard and then the front rim. Now quickly ahead, and a made layup by Zane Lightwine, the sophomore from Gahanna. 45-32 lead now for Heidelberg. 17:28 remain in the second half. Sanford, jumper, good. The lead is now to 11. Capital's got to get some defensive stops here going forward. Dylan Woods, being guarded by Dom Magerle, to Lightwine. Lightwine back to Woods. Woods will now bounce it over to Trey Watkins, who had a sensational first half. Woods for three. That's no good on the rebound taken by Schreck.
Woods had the hot hand earlier in the first half with his team, leading the team right now with 14.
Schreck, right wing, over to Sanford. Sanford driving, lost it, and it's a turnover for Capital. They say it went off of his knee, as now checking in will be Iank, the freshman from Maria Stein, Ohio. Crawford will take a seat on the bench for Capital. A 45-34 advantage for Heidelberg. 16:45 remaining in the second half. Woods dishes, Lightwine, three, knocks it down from the corner. This Heidelberg team is putting on a clinic shooting-wise.
Iank had his hand all up in his face. And he just pulled a John Cena, you can't see me, and splashed in his face.
Iank over to Schreck. Schreck over to Magerle. Dom drives in, kicks, three-pointer for Iank, knocks it down. Heidelberg 48, Capital 37. Capital showing some life here offensively, but can they get defensive stops? Watkins finds a way to get that bucket to go. Man, he did a trapeze act along the baseline.
Watkins is coming out, continuing his fellow double dynamic duo with his partner in crime, Dylan Woods.
He's now got 13 points, Watkins does, off the bench. Schreck with 16 to shoot. He'll drive in and score with the left hand. Heidelberg 50, Capital 39, 15:36 remaining in the second half.
It's only an 11-point lead. You're not too far. Continue to play good defense. Find a way to create some stops.
Magerle with some good defense against Watkins. Had to hold that ball for a while before finally getting off to Woods. Woods will now go inside to the big man Panning. Now back outside to Watkins for three. That's no good. And the rebound, Schreck had it, lost it, gets it over to Seaver somehow.
Great hustle right there.
Sanford now on the left wing. Bounced over to Magerle. Dom near the corner. Just off the fingertips of Schreck, but he regains it. Schreck turns around, gets the reverse layup to go.
It's too easy. It's too easy. Back him down.
9-point lead for Heidelberg. 14:44 remain in the second half. Capital just continuing to chip away, chip away. Woods over to Watkins. Watkins here at the top of the arc, fighting through a double team, but finds Purdue for two.
I was just getting ready to talk about the height differential and how that's an issue, but somehow the Princesses are able to find good ball court vision to find their teammates in places that small windows are created.
The lead for Heidelberg is back up to 11. 14-13 remain in the second half. Sanford to Magerle. Now inside to Schreck. Schreck is twisting and turning. Baseline, lost it. Bounces it over to Magerle. Now to Sanford, and Sanford hits the side of the backboard, and that will result in a shot clock violation as Sibley and Homan check back in for Capital. Meanwhile, Thompson comes back in for Capital. Man, how things have changed. Sanford got off to such a hot start, and now he's having trouble finding the rim, period.
It's hard. Once you enter that zone, it's hard to try to get back in it and activate it. So hopefully he can find ways to help his team with avoiding scoring.
Meanwhile, Watkins jacks up a three and misses it. Schreck with the rebound for Capital. An 11-point advantage for Heidelberg. Schreck to Roth. Roth in the corner. Over to Thompson. Joe going over his options. Now to Dom, over to Schreck, jumper. That's an air ball, out of bounds, and it'll be Heidelberg basketball.
Somebody closed the doors outside. Just a little slight breeze.
Heidelberg 52, Capital 41, 13:25 left to go here in the second half. There have been some signs of life offensively for Capital, but the problem has been trying to stop this Heidelberg team that's been on a roll offensively. Outside to Nakai Taylor. Taylor trying to drive towards the hoop. Puts it up. Blocked by Schreck. Roth
Block party.
ahead to Iyink. Bounced inside. Meagerly for 2. 52-43. It's back down to a 9-point lead. 12:50 to play in the second half. Young drives inside, a little kick. Now a drive along the baseline. Homan turns it over. Here comes Shrek the other way. 3-on-1. Meagerly loses it as Young was able to poke it away, and Capital will maintain possession as Griffin Dosick will check back in for Capital.
That's what you need, those turnovers, creating some turnovers. That's how you're going to get your team back involved.
Roth inside. Shrek misses the shot, but he got fouled. Royal Sibley will be hit with the foul for the Student Princes, the 3rd team foul of the half against Heidelberg.
That's a great job by Shrek drawing that foul on that pump fake, getting Sibley to jump right there as he heads to the free throw line. You gotta hit these. You need these points, and you got an opportunity at the free throw line. You gotta hit them.
Shrek to this point, 5 points on the night. Also has got 5 rebounds. First shot is up, and that is no good for Shrek.
Shrek is a 66 free throw shooter. Free throw shooter, shooting 66% from the line.
That's okay, partner. That happens to me time to time. That's Shrek with a second free throw. It is up, and it is good. So now give him 6 points. So Shrek will now take a breather, and now Ryan Seaver will check back in for Capital. Okay, lead trimmed to 8. I've liked what Capital's been doing defensively, closing out on these shooters.
See, that's what you have to do. It was a double-digit lead. You don't think about trying to close it in immediately. You break it down from 10 to 9 to 5. You get that 5 back to 1. Like that, you back in it.
Isaiah Young trying to drive inside. Now back out to Watkins, and a foul will be called against Alex Iyink. His second of the game, and team's first of the half. Gotta tell you, this is really refreshing watching this refereeing crew go to work here tonight. They're just letting them play.
I like it. I like it.
Jumper is no good for Young. Rebound taken by Dosick. Iyink up ahead. Nearly lost it. Thompson. Roth for 3. No good. And Seaver can't come up with the offensive board. Now quickly ahead to Watkins, who will lay it up and in on the other end.
That's a good transition offense right there as Watkins is down on the court right now.
Clutching his ankle. He's still sitting down, and they still haven't stopped play. Seaver gets bodied by Royal Sibley. Sibley with his second foul, team's 4th. And this could be a major development here for Heidelberg. It has been a tremendous game tonight for Trey Watkins. He's the leading scorer for Heidelberg. He's got 15 points, and he is not putting any pressure whatsoever on that left foot.
That's got to be in the lower ankle injury. Hopefully everything is A-okay with him.
10-point lead for Heidelberg. Approaching 11 and a half to play here in the second half. Roth to Dosick. Dosick inside. Seaver for 2. Back down to 8, 54-46. 11:27 to play in the second half.
I like what the Comets are doing here. They're giving them a taste of their own medicine. Down low in the paint.
Three-pointer for Homan. Rattles in and out. And Thompson grabs the rebound for Capital. Thompson inside. Turned it over, but then it went off the hands of Homan. So Capital catches a break right there.
Thompson saw the lane open. He's still looking for his first points of the game.
Purdue, Panning, and Lightwine check back in for Heidelberg. 11:09 left to play in the second half. It's Heidelberg 54, Capital 46. Iyink, top of the arc, passed over to Dosick. Griffin driving inside, can't get the bucket to go. Rattled around. Heidelberg comes up with the ball. Lightwine trying to get it over to Purdue, but deflected out of bounds. It will stay with the Student Princes.
Good stop right there, disrupting that fast break opportunity right there. They're doing a good job in the second half defensively, causing more turnovers for the Princesses and turning those turnovers into points.
Lightwine gets it in successfully to Isaiah Young. Now a 3 for Lightwine. That's no good. Rebound taken by Roth. Here comes Roth down the other end. Over to the left wing. Roth bounced it over. Inside, Seaver. Dosick got fouled. Let's see who the foul will go against. It will go against Dylan Woods. His first, team's fifth.
I like what we're seeing here. I told you it's a major height difference down low. What the Princesses only have one big man above 6'5" in the game right now, and that's Eric Pannon.
As Dosick hits the first. Dosick shooting 73% from the foul line. Gets one more opportunity at the cherry stripe. It is up, and it is good. 54-48, inching closer. 10:40 remaining here in the second half. Heidelberg still with the lead, but Capital has gotten themselves back into this game. Woods trying to drive, little spin move, and a traveling violation will be called against Dylan Woods.
Another costly turnover for the Princesses.
10:25 left to play in the second half. 54-48 advantage for Heidelberg. Iank driving in, now back out to Ross, run around the Seaver, and now bounce, almost stolen by Purdue, but out of bounds.
Purdue was a little too quick for himself. He had it, just couldn't hold on to it.
Roth will inbound it from the far side. Go get it into Iank. Iank trying to drive in, tough shot, can't get the bucket to go, but another foul against Dylan Woods, his second, team six.
I like what I'm seeing here in the second half. They're not afraid of creating contact and getting down low. That's what you had. That's what they should have been doing in the first half. After you realize you're not hitting from behind the arc, you haven't seen that many three-point attempts from them so far in the second half. Only 3 so far.
Iank 69% for the foul line. First shot is up and good. Go get one more. The freshman from Maria Stein, Ohio, averaging 8.4 points per game in his freshman campaign. Second toss by Iank, up and good. The Heidelberg lead has been cut to 4, 54-50, approaching 10 minutes to go in the second half. Woods to Purdue, now a three-pointer, Lightwine, can't make it go, and a rebound taken by Seaver.
Turn it up, come on, Comets, turn it up.
Seaver, right wing, almost stolen away. Roth up in the air, now he turns it over. And now a foul will be committed by Griffin Dosick.
He didn't need that three-point attempt right there, but that was the opportunity that the Comets passed up right there. When you create these turnovers and creating those fast break opportunities, that catches the defense off sides, with the transition moving forward. Just unable to get something going right there.
David Sanford will check in for Capital for Dosick. That's his first foul, only the team's second of the half for Capital. 6 meanwhile for Heidelberg already. Isaiah Young, top of the arc. Dribbling around near the left wing, being guarded by Roth. Young will pass it off to Woods. 16 to shoot. Woods in the lane, picks up his dribble. Now the student Princes lose it, out of bounds. And these turnovers starting to mount a little bit for Heidelberg. Andy Buhai is beside himself right now.
What was interesting when we talked about turnovers being the main difference, a factor in this game. Both teams are under double-digit turnovers right now, but they are costly.
Iank, cross half court, bounced over. Now Thompson has it. Thompson driving and scoring. It's down to 2.
So Thompson getting his first buckets of the game.
Heidelberg 54, Capital 52. We're coming up on 9 minutes to play, and Capital has come roaring back. Woods trying to get some help. Now out to Purdue. 10 to shoot. Purdue trying to drive. Step back jumper. No good. Rebound. Taken by Dosick. Up ahead to Sanford. Sanford, right wing. Over to Thompson. Thompson back over to Dosick. Dosick for 3. No good. And the rebound taken by Purdue. Purdue across half court. Still a 2-point lead for Heidelberg. And a tough shot made on the inside by Isaiah Young.
To get that off the backboard.
So the Heidelberg lead back up to 4. 56-52, 8:15 to play. Thompson to Iank. 17 to shoot for Capital. Over to Sanford. Sanford right wing. Now to Thompson. Inside to Dosick. 9 to shoot. Dosick skips it over. Iyink for three. But Dosick gets the offensive board. Dosick inside. Iyink! Thought he got fouled. Now a foul will be called against Heidelberg as Iyink got the rebound. Eric Hanning will get hit with the foul. 17th foul of the game against Heidelberg.
Yeah, Iyink was looking for that foul on that pump fake. You just got to go strong, whether no call or not. Just go up strong with it.
So now, Iyink will head to the foul line. We have entered 1-1 territory. Shot is up, and it is good. High bounce off the back rim, but somehow, some way, Iyink able to get that one to go. Now he'll try to cut the lead to 2.
Iyink only a 68% free throw shooter.
Couple bounces. Iyink up and good. Timeout will now be taken by Capital. We'll step aside as well. 7:52 remain in the second half. Heidelberg 56, Capital 54 here on athletics.capital.edu. .52 left to play in the second half. Boy, after being down by a bunch, Capital has come almost all the way back, trailing Heidelberg 56-54 in this game. Jonathan, how have they been able to do it?
That's how you crawl back, and they've been able to finding ways to get to the free throw line, and they're taking advantage of creating some points from the free throw line. But what they've really been doing to create those fouls is getting down low and creating turnovers on defense.
Now both teams back onto the floor. This is a really important game from a standings standpoint. Heidelberg tied with Mount Union for second. Right now, Mount Union's getting hammered by Marietta. So the Student Princes with a chance to move in the sole possession of second place. Meanwhile, Capital at 7-6. They have a chance if they are able to come out with a win here tonight to move up the standings a little bit, as a foul will be called against Alex Iyink. Blocking variety. That's his third of the game, team's third. And some of the Capital fans not exactly agreeing with that call.
I think the refs have been some good calls today, letting the boys play.
Woods will get it inside to Homan. Now back out to Watkins, who has come back into the game following that injury. Missed a shot. Thompson with the rebound. Capital down by 2. Sanford for 3. Blast! David Sanford with his first made three-pointer since the early moments of the first half. Good to see that. Capital by 1.
Don't let that boy get hot.
Yeah, you heard the fans.
Purdue driving inside. And boy, that looked like really good defense by Iyink. But the foul will be called against Iyink, and now that's his 4th of the game, team's 4th.
You don't want to lose this player this early with 7 minutes left in this second half.
So now Purdue, he of the 64% free throw shooting percentage, steps to the foul line. As now play has been stopped, Ryan Roth is having a conversation with one of the officials. Interesting. Purdue, meantime, at the foul line, misses the first shot.
And Capital fans getting involved here, trying to create some noise.
Schreck and Don Magerle checks in.
You hear the fans. Ball does not lie. Can he hit the second one?
Purdue, lefty, shooting. Missed the second. Schreck lost it out of bounds, and they give it to Heidelberg.
Great hustle right there.
Seth Oman keeping that possession, or keeping that ball alive for Heidelberg, as Eric Panning will check back in for the Student Princes.
Dosick coming in for Shrek.
And get it in to Panning. And now Panning got chopped down to the floor as a foul will be called against Dosick.
That was a questionable call right there.
Second personal for Dosick, team's fifth. So now Heidelberg will get it in.
15 feet away, it's not your call.
Capital leading Heidelberg 57-56. Watkins jumper, good.
That looked like that ankle is fine to me.
Yep. Heidelberg back up by one, 58-57. 6:45 remaining in regulation. Sanford. Over to Magerle. Now in the hands of Dosick. Griffin down the lane. Got cut off. Back out to Magerle. 10. Sanford. Pass out. Roth for three. Good! Ryan Roth buries the three. Capital by two.
A three-point assassin. That was great ball movement right there for the Comets.
Oh, what a shot by Roth. 60-58 in favor of Cap. Watkins will try a three. He'll miss. Thompson the rebound. Don Magerle running the throw. Roth for three. Air ball. Dosick. Offensive board. Thompson, he'll try a three. And he'll knock it down.
Joe pointing to his wrist, letting you know what time it is right now.
Capital 63. Heidelberg 58. 5:48 remaining. Boy, the three-point shooting was dormant, but now it's come alive for Capital. And off the hands of Watkins. A turnover for the Student Princes. And a timeout will be called. 5:42 remaining in the second half. Capital 63, Heidelberg 58. Here at athletics.capital.edu. .542 left to play in the second half. Capital leading Heidelberg 63-58. Well, Jonathan, this has been a very interesting game from an offensive standpoint for Capital. They start off red hot from three thanks to David Sanford. They go cold for a while, and then here in the late going, after completing what has been a great comeback, the three-point shooting has come alive again.
It's like these teams are out here switching momentum, and the arena is erupting right now in the Capitol Center here in Columbus. The fans are now involved. The Comets are up on top right now. You got to keep this momentum going.
63-58 in favor of Capital. Thompson will get it in bounds to Sanford. Sanford with 17 points. He'll pass off to Magerle. Magerle to Thompson on the left wing. 16 to shoot. Thompson trying to drive in, twisting, turning to Sanford. Skipped over to Magerle. Dobb trying to dribble inside. He'll hoist a tough jumper, and that's no good. The rebound taken by Eric Panning. And then to add insult to injury, a foul will be called against Griffin Dosick, his third, team sixth.
Don't want to get carried away. You still want to find them right shots for your team.
Isaiah Young will bring it across the timeline for Heidelberg. Heidelberg dribbling Young to his left. Block party once again as Dosick denies Young near the rim.
Say that one more time, Charlie. So what?
Block party.
I like it.
There have been plenty of big defensive plays that have helped Capital get back into this game. That being chief among them. Young to Watkins. Watkins, baseline, gets loose. Can't get the bucket to go, but he gets his own miss somehow, some way. Watkins into Panning. Panning gets the bucket to go.
That looked like a clear double dribble call right there. It looked like he dribbled again after stopping with the ball right there. I don't know how you missed that call right there.
It's down to a 3-point lead for Capital, 63-60. About 4.5 to play in the second half. Thompson for three. No good. Dosick tapping it out. Gets us the miss. Roth for three. No good. Tangled on the floor. And a foul will be called against Heidelberg's Seth Homan. His second, team's 8th.
1-on-1 opportunity. Joe Thompson heads to the free throw line.
Woods, Purdue, and Lightwine back into the game for Heidelberg. So now Thompson, he'll head to the foul line. Still a 1-and-1 situation for Capital.
Thompson's an 85% free throw shooter.
Junior from Galloway, Ohio. Left-handed shooter. Shot is up and good for Thompson. Extends the Capital lead to 4. Has a chance to make it 5 with one more free throw. Thompson with a couple of dribbles. The shot is up and it's good. 5-point lead for Capital as Schreck checks back in. Roth will head back to the Capital bench. 4:18 to play. Woods, cross half court. Picked up defensively by Magerle. Passes off to Purdue. Purdue trying to drive, being guarded by Schreck. Almost lost it. Gets it back to Lightwine now. 14 to shoot. Lightwine to Purdue. Purdue gets loose along the baseline. It's blocked again by Schreck. Purdue gets it back. 7 to shoot for Heidelberg. Watkins has it poked away. Here comes Sanford. Sanford across half court. Sanford to the rim. And one. Count it. Great defense to offense situation or sequence for Capital as Sanford gets it to go.
This arena is erupting right now.
And now a timeout will be taken by Heidelberg. We'll step aside once again. 3:50 to play in the second half. Capital 67, Heidelberg 60. Here on athletics.capital.edu. .350 to play in the second half. Capital with a 7-point lead. The crowd has been in it. Student section showing up here tonight for Capital as Sanford gets set for an and one situation. Great steal by him, converting on the bucket.
That's great defense by the team right there, applying this pressure.
9th team foul on Heidelberg, by the way, so the next team foul on Student Princess, double bonus. But here's Sanford at the free throw line. Shot is up. No good by Sanford. 3:48 to play, still a 7-point lead for Capital. Woods, top of the arc, now dribbling to the left wing. Woods picks up his dribble, nearly poked away that time by Thompson. It will go out of bounds. It will remain with Heidelberg, 16 to shoot.
I think the Comets have adapted for the way that the Princesses are playing.
Woods over to Young. Young trying to drive, now back over to Woods. Woods for three, off the rim, but Heidelberg gets it back. Great rebound by Lightwine. Watkins for three, that's no good. Rebound taken by Sanford. 3:15 to play, Capital still leading by 7. Capital will look to run a little bit of clock here, but maybe not too much. You still got to play offense here in the late going as Dosick gets fouled by Zane Lightwine. That's his first, team's 10th. 2 free throws the rest of the way for Capital.
Not something that you want to. It's too early to be fouling right now. That's just a costly foul. That puts him in the double bonus, correct?
Yep. So now Dosick will head to the foul line. 73% free throw shooter. Shot is up and good.
Reminder, we had 4 free throw attempts combined in the first half. Now this team, the Comets have been to the line 16 times.
As Dosick knocks down the second free throw. The lead is now 9. We tick under 3 to play. 69-60 in favor of Capital. Woods trying to drive against Schreck, but Schreck doing a nice job of keeping Woods in front of him. Lightwine now in the hands of Watkins. Watkins trying to drive by Sanford. Pull up jumper. No good. Rebound. Schreck saves it in to Thompson. Now up ahead to Sanford. And now Sanford being told by Coach Goodwin, let's run some clock. He'll back up to half court. 2.5 to play. 9-point lead for Capital. Sanford being guarded closely by Dylan Woods. 12 to shoot. Sanford just looking for a lane, looking for a possibility to shoot here. And he lost the ball, gets it back, and now inside. Trying to save it was Dosick, but out of bounds. That will be a turnover for Capital.
That was a good pass right there. Sanford losing his footing, but able to find Dosick down low. Dosick just wasn't expecting it.
2:08 and counting. 69-60 lead for Capital. Woods driving against Schreck. Over to Purdue. Purdue driving inside. Tough turnaround jumper, and it will not go, but he did get fouled. The foul will go against Dosick. That is his 4th, team 7th. This will be a shooting foul for Emmanuel Purdue. He has struggled from the foul line this year, only 64%. His first shot is up and good. Roth back in for Capital. Schreck, meantime, will take a seat. One more free throw upcoming for Purdue. Purdue's second shot is good. Purdue's now got 10. Timeout. We'll keep things here at the Capitol Center. 1:54 remaining in regulation. It's Capital 69, Heidelberg 62. Again, an important game for both teams. If Heidelberg were to win this bad boy, they would move into sole possession of second place, with Mount Union getting its behind handed to them by Marietta tonight. Meanwhile, for Capital, 7-6, 5th place in the OAC. A win tonight would move them to 8-6, and perhaps with a little bit of luck, could earn them a tie for 4th place with Otterbein.
We're keeping this win streak going tonight. You would think the Princesses, I'm not counting them out. There's plenty of time left on the clock right now, but they're doing a good job. The Comets are 5-3 at home, and they've been protecting their home court for the last 2 games, aside from that road game at ONU.
Leading scorer in this game for Heidelberg is Trey Watkins. He's got 17. Woods has got 14. And I made a mistake about Purdue. He actually has 9 points on the night tonight. Meanwhile, for Capital, David Sanford with 19. How about Ryan Seaver? He's quietly had a good game, 11 points on the night. And 9 points for Ryan Roth, as he has hit some key three-pointers in this game this evening. Capital shooting in the double bonus the rest of the way. Meanwhile, Heidelberg in the 1-1. Roth ahead. Dosick was able to make the catch. That's one way to evade the pressure. Now Sanford with the ball. Minute 45 and counting. 69-62 lead for Capital. Sanford near half court, being guarded by Lightwine. 11 to shoot. Lightwine still guarding Sanford. Sanford still with the ball. Sanford whips a pass, and it's picked up by Watkins. Here comes Heidelberg the other way. Watkins lays it up and in.
Trey Watkins is on one. That's 19 on the night for him.
69-64 lead for Capital. A minute 15 and counting. Iyink gets it across half court. Iyink now handling the ball, being guarded by Watkins. Watkins with some tough defense. Crowd wanted to foul that time, but they didn't give it to him. 8 seconds to shoot for Capital. Iyink driving in, and he tried to pitch it, and now a charge will be called against Iyink. That's his 5th. He's out of the game. Also team's 8th. Schreck will go in for Capital along with Don Magerle. It is gut check time. 54.2 seconds to go. Capital 69, Heidelberg 64. Purdue, jumper, that's good. It's now a 3-point lead for Capital, 47.4 seconds to go. And now a timeout will be taken by Capital. Oh, baby, this is coming down to the wire.
It's far from over. It is far from over.
Taking a look at the team statistics here real quick. Heidelberg shooting 44% from the field, 38% for Capital. Capital really has picked it up from a three-point shooting standpoint here in the second half. They've now gone 11 of 28 from beyond the arc, good for 39% on the game. Heidelberg, meanwhile, 7 of 20 from downtown, good for 35%. As they get a Let's Go Cap Champ going here at the Capital Center. Want to do a quick reminder, coming up on Saturday, it's Mount Union taking on Capital, Battle of the Purple here at the Cap Center.
You know, Audubon is our rival, but it's just something about Mount Union I just do not like.
That game is scheduled for, I believe, a 2 o'clock tip. We'll get things started with a short pregame show at 1:50 that day. As Capital is rapidly approaching the end of the 2021-2022 regular season. 3-point lead for the Comets. 69-66, 47.4 seconds to go. The possession arrow favors Capital. 18 fouls on the Comets. Double-digit fouls, meanwhile, for the Student Princes. Roth will inbound it. He'll get it in to Dosick. Dosick will bring it across half court. Up to Sanford. 39 seconds and counting. 20 to shoot. Sanford being guarded by Watkins. Sanford watching the clock. He's got 12 to shoot. Sanford trying to drive around. Little flop, but no call. Roth for 3. That's good! Bullseye!
They call him the three-point assassin for a reason.
6-point lead for Capital. Purdue, jumper, good. 12 and a half to play, or 12.5 seconds left to play. They get it into Dosick, and he gets fouled.
They call that boy number 10, Ryan Roth, the three-point assassin for a reason. Was that the final nail in the coffin? Plenty of time left on the clock.
Meanwhile, Griffin Dosick will head to the foul line. It's a 4-point lead for Capital.
Dosick shooting 72% from the free throw line. Tonight he is perfect.
He's got 6 points on the night. Shot up and no good. Don Magerle will check back in for Capital as Roth will take a seat. Boy, what a night it has been for Ryan Roth.
Dosick, you gotta hit this right here.
Meantime, Dosick, one more, it's good. A 5-point lead, 11 and a half seconds to go. Heidelberg trying to get a quick shot here. Watkins across half court, almost lost it. He'll hoist a 3, that is no good. Dosick with the rebound, and that will do it.
That right there is keeping the win streak alive.
Big win for Capital tonight as they take down Heidelberg 73-68. The win streak continues, but more importantly, a big dub in conference play.
A much crucial win to keep their hopes alive and hopefully move them up in seeding as they get closer towards this tournament.
Again, the final score, Capital 73, Heidelberg 68. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll examine the final stats, and we might be joined by a couple of Capital basketball players up here in the booth as well, so stick around for that. Again, the final score, Capital 73, Heidelberg 68. This has been a presentation of Capital Men's Basketball, athletics.capital.edu. Welcome into the Capital postgame show, and what a win for the Comets tonight as they defeat Heidelberg by a final of 73-68. I'm Charlie Danis, and now we're joined in the booth by a couple of basketball players from Capital. We start first with Ryan Seaver, the freshman from Ottoville, Ohio, who quietly had himself a good game tonight. 11 points to go along with some key rebounds, 7 to be exact. You guys were down by a bunch just to begin the second half, but slowly but surely you come back. You inch closer and closer. You carve out that lead, and finally you're able to make the comeback. What went into making that comeback?
I think, first of all, on offense, we had to slow down a little bit. I think when they made that run in the first half, we were kind of rushing things. You know, we were hot were hot earlier in the game, and we kind of settled for jump shots. I think a little bit towards the middle of that towards the middle of that first half. So I think being patient, if we knew if we were patient, we were going to get looks we wanted, and that's what happened in the second half.
This Heidelberg team is a tough bunch to defend. Their guards are exceptional, particularly when driving towards the hoop, but they were uncharacteristically good at making three-pointers. It seems as though that the defense really tightened up along the perimeter.
Yeah, they hit a couple shots in the first half. I don't think we were really ready for that, but I think the second half we, like you said, we locked down. We ran them off the line a little bit, forced them to make tough twos. That's what we talked about. That's what we wanted to do the whole game. But I think the second half we really focused in on that, ran them off the line, made them make tough twos.
The three-point shot has become so important in the game of basketball, and it played an important part in this game. You guys start off hot from three to begin the game and then go a little bit cold, but then turn it on at the end. What's it like watching guys like David Sanford, who we'll get to in just a moment, guys like Ryan Roth, light it up from downtown?
Yeah, I mean that's what they do. Their ability to stretch the floor. I think it helped a little bit us establishing an inside presence. It packed the paint a little bit, made it easier to get those kick out threes, a little bit easier shots. The easier shots that we had in the first half, and I think just to stretch the floor, stretch the defenses out, helps us get easier looks.
All right, well, Ryan, congratulations. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you.
Pass it off to your teammate, David Sanford. So, David, you were the one that hit that game winner against Ohio Northern, and then you come back in this game with 19 points. You get off to such a scorching start from three-point land, go cold a little bit, then the team is able to pick it up from three-point land. A little bit of a roller coaster when it came to shooting tonight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, at the beginning, I got hot. I found my rhythm early, and then towards the end of the first half, I got cold, and I think I kind of rushed things. But second half, we settled down, got patient, and then we got the looks we wanted.
How key was it to just simply slow things down, take a deep breath, and just try to battle back like possession by possession?
It was real important. They, as you see, they were on a great run. I want to say it was maybe 6-0 at one point, and we just had to turn up on defense. That's what really started defensively. So once we stopped their run, and that was really it. That got us to slow down on offense, and then that got us to get into transitions, getting stops.
Speaking of transition, I thought your defensive stop where you stole the ball, take the length of the court, score, get the and one, that was huge. I know you take a lot of pride in your shooting, but that had to be really satisfying as a defender.
Oh, yeah. I feel like I've always been a great defender. I feel like I kind of fell off a little bit throughout this year just with injuries. But as the season going on, we're picking it up, not only me, but as a team collectively.
How satisfying is it not only to get a key conference win, but against a team that really took it to you early on in the season? I mean, this had to feel really good from a revenge standpoint.
Oh, yeah, it felt great. It felt really great. We came in here with a mentality, and we had home court advantage. That was really big, too. We love playing on home court, and when we play on home court, we just want to play as hard as we can.
Sets up a pretty big game against Mount Union, the Battle of the Purple. How excited are you about that game coming up this weekend?
Oh, I'm very excited. Just like Heidelberg, they beat us the first time, and Mount Union beat us the first time. We're looking to come in and get another win on home floor.
All right, David, thank you so much for joining us.
Appreciate it.
David Sanford and Ryan Seaver joining us up here in the broadcast booth as Capital is able to take care of business against Heidelberg 73-68. Rejoining us here in the broadcast booth is Jonathan Brown. And Jonathan, boy, what a roller coaster of a game this was. Capital getting off to the hot start shooting. Then they go cold. Then you see the Student Princes run downhill, make key three-pointers. They were up by as much as 10 at halftime. And then slowly but surely, Capital was able to get the comeback through key defensive stops, through some massive threes made by David Sanford and Ryan Roth. All in all, it adds up to a very satisfying conference win.
These kind of games are different. When you're trailing, coming back, it shows heart with the team finding a way to crawl back. And what they did, they crawled back. And it really came in, showed forth in the second half. They started off hot, going off, and they just lost their rhythm. But they were able to find their rhythm. Not only find their rhythm, but find a way to continue to crawl back and get back to where they needed to be to get this win here.
Let's go ahead and get you updated with some scores around the OAC, by the way. 13 seconds to go in the second half, and it looks as though that Otterbein is going to pick up another conference win. They lead John Carroll 79-73 in that game over in Westerville, Ohio. So in the meantime, Otterbein will maintain the one-game lead over Capital in the standings. It was Otterbein who was in 4th place tonight, Capital in 5th place in the conference standings. Other scores around the OAC. Well, it went final down in Alliance, Ohio, and it's not often that you see Mountain Union get pushed around, but boy, Marietta brought the A-plus game as they end up drubbing the Purple Raiders 84-64. Heidelberg misses out on a chance to take over sole possession of 2nd place in the OAC. It is the Purple Raiders and the Student Princes who remain tied for 2nd in the OAC standings behind 1st place Marietta. And a couple of other games. It is in overtime at Baldwin-Wallace. Ohio Northern leading that one 77-76 as that game has really gone down to the wire. And finally, a game that has just gone final. Wilmington ekes out a 75-73 win over Muskingum. Let's now take a look at the final stats from this game. We begin with the team statistics. Heidelberg shooting 45% from the field. Capital 39% from the field. 3-point range, Heidelberg 7 of 21, good for 33%. Capital 12 of 29, good for 41%. Free throws proved to be big, particularly in the second half. Capital 15 of 21 from the foul line, good for 71%. Heidelberg only 3 of 6, good for 50%. Capital ends up winning the rebounding battle, 36-28. Assists, Heidelberg 14, Capital 13. Each team had 11 turnovers. Capital's bench comes through. They outscore Heidelberg 33-27. It was certainly a block party tonight for Capital, 6-2 in favor of the Comets. Fast break points, Capital 14, Heidelberg 11. Steals, Heidelberg 5, Capital 4. Points off turnovers, just about even, with the slight edge going to Heidelberg, 11-10. Points in the paint, Heidelberg 38, Capital 20. And finally, second chance points, Capital 10, Heidelberg 8. Now on to the individual statistics. We head over to Jonathan Brown, and there were plenty of individuals who made a big impact for Capital tonight.
Well, taking a look first at the Princesses, the away team, they fell short today. They had 3 players in double-digit figures. Emmanuel Perdue, Dylan Woods, but the man who was leading his team here and just couldn't get the job done, Trey Watkins, he finished off with 19 tonight. He also finished with 5 rebounds. Time with the leading rebounder on his team as well was Seth Holman, 5 apiece for them. They both came out here shooting lights out. Watkins and Dylan Woods. Woods finished with 14, and Purdue finished with 13. It really came down to the three-point line for Woods to getting his team rolling in the first half. But the Comets like to respond on their own, and then we had our leading scorer of our own in David Sanford. He found his rhythm back in the second half. After starting off with 12 in the first half off of 4 3-pointers, he came off a little cold, was able to find his rhythm and clutch shots that were much needed, especially that final and one to get that free throw opportunity to get the crowd and arena erupting tonight. He finishes off with 19. He wasn't the only one with double-digit figures. Ryan Seaver finished off with 11 points on his own, but he was doing dirty work down low too. Not only was he able to get to the free throw line, but he was able to get some rebounds on his own. Then Ryan Roth, a three-point assassin, put the final coffin on the dagger in this game with a three-pointer of his own and finishes off with 12 points on his own, shooting 50% from behind the arc on the night. Our leading rebounder goes to Griffin Dosick, who finished off with 8.
Big win for Capital tonight as they are able to pick up a conference win and get a little bit of retribution, as it was Heidelberg with a blowout win against Capital at the Student Prince's place early on in the season. That's got to feel really good for Damon Goodwin's crew. So with the win tonight, Capital improves to 13-8 overall, but more importantly, 8-6 within conference play. They remain one game back of Otterbein, who took care of business against John Carroll tonight. Otterbein currently 4th in the OAC. Mount Union and Heidelberg will continue to be the 2 second-place teams, and Marietta is still in the lead in the OAC as they picked up their 14th win in conference play. So, Capital will have to regroup, and then a big-time matchup coming up later on this weekend. It'll be the Battle of the Purple. That game is scheduled for a 4 o'clock start between the Purple Raiders and the Comets. We'll get things started with a little pregame show beginning at 3:50, and then on to the game. Sets up a big matchup between Mountain Union and Capital.
That would be a big matchup. You know, they talk about the rivalry with the Audubon Cardinals, but it's purple. It's deeper than blood. The Battle of the Purple, which you explained earlier. See, they got nice replicas of our jersey. They copied our swag here at Capital. So we're going to keep this win streak going. That's 4 in a row, and we're on the way to make it 5 this weekend.
For my broadcast partner, Jonathan Brown, this is Charlie Dana saying one final time, the final score tonight from the Capital Center. Capital 73, Heidelberg 68. We hope that you have enjoyed this presentation of Capital Men's Basketball here on athletics.capital.edu. So long and good night from Bexley, Ohio.